Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sid Supatease Compston. I am a rank 1 restoration druid in World of Warcraft, and in today's video, I wanted to go over how to heal through feral druids, as they are very common in the meta right now, if not the most dominant spec for 3v3 PvP. In this position, I am playing Warrior Demon Hunter. Because we're fighting Shadow Priest, my Demon Hunter is spec Soul Rending Demonic, so he has a lot of self-healing and support to help kind of beef up my healing, because this composition can play two ways. They can either crowd control me or just dot me up and go after me. So I want to play 40 yards away, and my team will be training down the Shadow Priest, pressuring his dot up time. I'm just trying to avoid the Feral Druid. In this position, the Feral Druid isn't attacking. He's literally doing nothing. So the longer that I can stay on this side of the box, the Shadow Priest is outputting almost no damage with 2 melee on him, and basically this is free ride time for damage. I even just took the time to re-stealth because of how much downtime I was actually getting, and playing 40 yards away out of range of his feral charge, because he wants to in-cap maim you or bash you or go you, so playing really far away and staying on the pillar is super important. Then when I see thorns and full dots, then I use my Cenarian Ward. And again, I'm just keeping an eye on the Feral Druid. He's kind of eking closer and closer, so I'm ducking in and out from behind the pillar, looking to dispel dots when I can. You usually want to coordinate that when your team has an interrupt, so they can interrupt the Vampiric Touch right as you dispel, removing the dot for quite some time. This is a nice silence double fear setup from the Shadow Priest, but again, I see the Feral Druid running at me. If he's not attacking, the damage output's going to be low. I go into stealth. I ask my Demon Hunter just to trade out Blur because I'm basically stalling out as long as I can. This is also saving my mana. This is a bit of a mana fight against a Shadow Priest Shaman comp like this. And with all that delay time, the Feral not supporting the Shadow Priest, they were able to force Dispersion and Earthen Shield Totem. So again, just staying 40 yards away, maintaining your hots. Usually against this, you'd want a Cenarian Ward on Thorns or a Cenarian Ward on cooldown almost, basically, to keep your max distance. The Feral Druid has held on to major cooldowns like Incarnation, which is the only reason I haven't used my artifact until now. I'm expecting that they're running out of time. They just used Dispersion and Earthen Shield Totem. Since they're probably running out of time, I tried to set up a Vortex for the Feral to get pulled through. He got very lucky there. To actually land that, but it does break up the chain a bit because he has to walk all the way back to me to do another crowd control to me, and this is where the Incarnation happens. So I bark skin immediately as I was stunned out of form. Then I want to line of sight the Shaman, who potentially wants to purge me, so I need to make sure that I'm going in and out, healing myself. Ashemain Rip had been used onto me, which is the Feral Druid's massive increase of damage, so I wanted to keep an eye on myself there more than my partners. With my Demon Hunter in Metamorphosis, he is Soul Rend Leech healing, so he's going to be tanking damage pretty fine on his own. And now I'm taking the time to just 1v1 the Feral behind the pillar. If I can avoid Shadow Priest dots, it will be difficult for the Feral Druid to kill me on his own, but they are creating split pressure with my Demon Hunter getting low, so I need to peek back every once in a while, maintain my 3-stack Life Bloom on him, try to have Efflorescence. I use Iron Bark on myself again because I'm actually more fragile than my Demon Hunter during Metamorphosis. He activates Metamorphosis with Eye Beam and Demonic, so he can heal himself now through his damage, basically lifesteal. And I just keep life moons on him and line of sight at the pillar. So what you can notice this game, the Shadow Priest got maybe 1 Vampiric Touch on me this game. So the entire goal for me is to just line of sight him over and over and over. Do never let him get a Vampiric Touch off. The Shadow Priest could position better to force me into a position where I need to be in the open. Right now it's very easy for me to stay at this pillar and 40 yards away, so you may find teams that make it more difficult than this, but if the Shadow Priest is going to give you a position where you can play 40 yards away on a pillar, you want to take that. And again, every time I see the Feral Druid run at me, I just run away, back up. If he's not spamming Shred on the target, the damage they're taking is much lower. I would like to say I think this team should focus Warrior more than Demon Hunter. The self-healing on Demon Hunter is too high for them to really force me into an awkward position. But now, you see the Shadow Priest is repositioned. I have no pillar. I'm out in the open. This is much easier for the Feral Druid. He knows that. He wants to get crowd control on me, but he does it during a critical moment where he was low health. And now that he's overextended, his Shaman now has to move to the center of the map. He's getting lower. He had to use both Survival Instincts charges. Suddenly he lost all of his cooldowns. But now with the reposition from the Shadow Priest, he actually got a Vampiric Touch on me. So I immediately retreat back and dispel that. I'm trying to lower the self-healing from the Shadow Priest. He heals through his damage as well, much like the Demon Hunter. And I try to Vortex the Feral on his leap again. That's how I'm using Vortex in this matchup specifically, is to stall out the Feral in his advance towards me. He wants to Enrage Maim or Stun, get some sort of crowd control. But the more time he spends with me, the less time he spends attacking my partners, and the more momentum that they get. So they've got Bash into Silence. Typically you would see Enrage Maim like this. This team seems to be inconsistent with their strat in terms of crowd controlling me or dotting me. And again, the Feral makes a mistake, jumping 40 yards away from his team to crowd control me, and my team immediately switches to him, punishes him, and just blows him up. So staying 40 yards away from the Feral Druid at a pillar if possible. The other team will be likely looking to make that difficult to do, but you can maintain your HOTS very easily in a comfortable position. And I hope that this guide helps you guys out in some PvP.